I sound like that. Hi, everyone. It's your girl Jay, and it is
Oh,
also break. Welcome, welcome,
yes,
welcome, everyone,
yes.
to the weekly, the best anime club, the best anime podcast, the best, the most factual. We have the best opinions on the internet. If anyone would like to challenge us, challenge your auntie. We don't care. Anyway, welcome, welcome, everyone. Welcome to the stream. As you can see, Break got a haircut, or maybe.
Gotta bring that up.
I hope you guys are all having a lovely week so far. Break. Since we haven't talked in a while, I would like to also know how your week is going. I hope it's going well.
It's going all right. It could always be better, but it's not
Okay.
bad. I've been been spending a lot of money this week. I've been buying a lot of different apparel and
Ooh,
just devices in general. I have a new phone coming, so you know
nice.
there's that.
Nice. But yeah, guys, it is Ouran High School Host Club Day, our weekly Ouran High School Host Club anime podcast. This is the last week we'll be doing Ouran High School Host Club, unless we vote in. I realize that could technically be an option, I guess, if you guys vote to do the next 13 episodes. But yeah, so I guess we can just jump right into it, unless Break, you had anything else you wanted to tell the people before we get started.
I'll just say this: a little spoiler. The episode 13. What the heck was that? That's all I gotta say.
Oh my god. All right, we'll get to that. I actually have a lot to say about that. I liked that episode a lot. But let's jump in.
Oh, well, it's about to be fun. Ooh.
I actually kept my notes to like not a dissertation size once again, so I'm really, really proud. Andre, you are literally like star student. Already finished the whole entire show. Like,
Dang.
let's get on to Andre's level. Hey Andy, how are you? Welcome to the stream. So we're actually you're just in time. We're just about to start episode 11. Recap that one. So in this episode, we have a young little girl named Kirimi who comes wandering into the host club again. She's like 2, so I don't know how she gets there, but somehow she wanders into Ouran Academy, wanders into the host club in search of her brother, who she knows, has like this princely look. So she's looking through like the host club. They do their usual, are posed up, at the door. They greet them, and looking at Tamaki. She has, blonde hair, blue eyes, and so does he. So she assumes that this is her brother. We shortly find out that her actual brother is Nekozawa Senpai, who we actually met in another episode, the like King of Darkness. But we kind of see him in a different light because we, for the first time, don't see him cloaked in his like black wig and his like little cloak. We actually see him regular, but he quickly has to don those things again because apparently he has like I don't even know. Was it a curse? Was it like a disease, an illness, or something where he can't show?
She just, I don't even know if it was like a disease because it seems like he can, like, it doesn't hurt him to face the light. It's just that he's very sensitive to the light, is what it is.
Mm.
He is the personification of darkness. He is the Dark Knight hero. He is the one that is out here taking out the vigilantes, right? At the night.
Well, whatever it
So it's
is,
like that.
he like struggles to be in the light. So he quickly has to don his cloak and all that stuff. And the funny thing is, while he can't really be in light for a long time, so he has to, cloak himself in darkness. His sister is like afraid of like darkness and dark things. So when he's in that like, Dark Lord get up, she gets scared and she kind of rejects him and, goes along with the idea that Tamaki is her brother. And so I just want to put a pin in that. Like, I know that this was like kind of played for laughs and it was kind of jokey here and there, but that actually made me really, really, really sad. Like the idea that she
Oh,
was just like, not, and I'm not blaming her because obviously she's a little girl, she's probably just scared, but getting rejected by your sibling in that regard, like especially like a young child, I feel like that would have hurt my
true.
heart. Like, I don't know, I'm really sensitive about
Like
that.
I get it. I get it. Like, you have a sibling there, and you're like, all right, we're gonna be close. We're gonna try to do things together, and it just never works out. You just can't do it, and you're just like, what the heck is wrong with me? What's wrong with
Yeah.
me? Why am I like this?
Yeah, I was just I don't know. It made me really really sensitive. I don't know why. Um But essentially, so like we have this kind of issue now that like, they want the host clubs wants Kirimi and Nekozawa senpai to reunite, but they realize that that's a big problem. So the host club decides to take Nekozawa senpai under their wing to try to kind of teach him how to become not so afraid or not so sensitive to the light, but then also become like this princely brother. So, Kirimi won't be afraid and they can kind of reconnect. So of course this is led by none other than the legend Renge. She's a character building
That
legend.
is her.
And so, she tries her best to try to like, get him to not freak out as much in the light. So like she tries to get him to like flash a flashlight on himself and things like that. And then at one moment, Kirimi comes while they're like trying to train him. Kirimi comes and, he's like, trying to like build up the courage and be in the light for her, and he ends up flashing the light on him in a way that scares her, so she runs away.
Yeah.
And she runs into like Tamaki's arm once again. I felt like that was so like sad that she was like,
I mean, it was bootleg though. Come on, come on. They're in the darkness. She's afraid of the dark, and then you do this with the flash. Come on, you all knew that was gonna happen. Like, sucker, what are you doing? This dude's not even thinking. All right, he doesn't know what he needs to do, and that's why they're helping him right now. But still, it's like, bro, come on, what are you doing? It's almost as if you want this to go wrong.
that's kind of true. I could kind of, the gears in my head started turning when I was like, they're in a dark room, he's flashing this light in his face, this is not gonna end well. But I still felt sad because he seems like such a sweet guy. But essentially, it all kind of culminates to this point where Kirimi, she goes outside, she's confronted by this big ass cat, and like they're all like, oh my god, like this cat. And then like, Nekozawa senpai, he sees her and he's like, oh snap, she's afraid of cats. So he jumps out the window.
Okay, I thought he did. I'm saying like, okay, he jumped out the whole window, somehow did not hurt himself. Like,
I was like,
this guy got some legs. Like, how do you do that?
Exactly. I was like, take the stairs, please. And he basically protects her. He withstands the daylight to kind of save her and protect her. And,
Protect her.
Honestly, I was like, sis, just two steps to the left and you'll be fine, I swear. But gotta be with the dramatics or in High School Club.
Yeah.
So he's
like, the cat wasn't even doing anything.
Exactly.
Like, the cat was sitting there the whole time, like, why y'all wilding? It's like, I'm out of here. I gotta go. Like, ridiculous.
The cat was wrongly framed as a villain. It was just chilling, but he saves her. And so they kind of come back to this like brotherly sisterly thing, and he's like, I'll always protect you, but because he's in the light he does pass out. So at the end we kind of see the scene where they had that moment, but he has to kind of go back to being cloaked in darkness. However, this time she's not afraid of him because she realizes that anytime she'll need help, he'll be willing to risk his life to save her. Very wholesome episode.
Literally. It's like, we'll jump out the window to protect this goddamn sister. So I mean,
yeah,
bravo. That's a good man.
Honestly, truly, I don't know, I thought it was so sweet. Like, I love sibling stories that aren't weirdly like tinged with like romance thingies in them. But I love a nice wholesome sibling story, and I thought it was just so sweet how he was like so concerned, like, and sad that like his sister was afraid of him. And even that one point where he felt that like he might not be able to withstand the light, he was like, what, Tamaki, like, just keep acting like her older brother, because you're the older brother she deserves. And I was like, dang, is somebody chopping onions? Like, it was so sad. So
She started crying. She cried this episode. That's what she's telling me right now. She got real. This must hit a chord with her, like something's there. Is this like a personal level here?
Is
there something going on?
Personal level, but like even when Haruhi was talking about how there was a part where Haruhi was talking about how like, oh, I've always been an only child, so like, I'm kind of jealous of the fact that they're siblings. I always think that, like, not necessarily like if you're an only child you should be whatever, but like, I don't know, I always feel like really sad for situations when there's like a family where they're like might be broken, or like the brothers and sisters or siblings or whatever aren't very close, because I know like my siblings, like I would just be lost without them, and like, you know, they're so important to me, and they're like the ones I can tell everything. So I take that bond very seriously and very strongly. Like it's very important in my life. So like when I see stories of when like siblings have like a falling out and they don't reconcile or something like that, it always just, I don't know, it just makes me really sad. I don't know how else to describe
No,
it.
I get you. I'm just messing with you.
Okay.
I understand. Yes, my brothers and everything. Like I care about them a lot and help me. They help me all the time. Especially my little brother, like that boy.
Yeah, I feel like you're
That
always
man. Excuse me.
that man.
It's like an old, right?
Yeah, so very cute episode. I'm gonna hop into the comments. Andre says, listen, I need Renge to get my life together. Honestly, she would be a bomb life coach. I feel like, you know, she could mold you into something. Andy says,
I sign her up.
honestly, I would sign her up too. Andy says, everyone was more concerned about him going without his cloak than him jumping out the window. That's so true.
Oh yeah. They weren't thinking like that. They're like, man, he's about to get bodied by this light. but apparently the rest of his actual body is just gonna be okay. I mean, I don't even know how high is their classroom to the ground. Like,
Well,
how far is that?
it seemed high. Like when he jumped, he was like, you know, kind of falling for a bit before he reached the floor. And it was very dramatic the way he landed. So it was, I mean, if I were to say, it was probably 60 flights. No, just kidding. I don't know. But like it was probably really, really, really like high. So he was just like, I guess I'll risk it all, which is so sweet. Like,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I don't know. It makes me so, I don't know. I'm just being a soft. Maybe I'm just sensitive. I don't know. I heard Mercury was in retrograde, so yeah.
Oh God, it is. Is it? Is it?
Apparently it's in retrograde from like, I think it was like the end of May, so like I'm gonna say May 27th, and it's gonna be in retrograde to June 22nd. So I don't know what that means. Maybe the astrology people can tell me, but yeah.
Ain't that right, Mike? That's my terrible Australian accent.
My favorite thing is that if you want to sound like you have an Australian accent, if you say rising lights, no, razor blades? I don't know. If you say like razor blades, it sounds like you're saying rising lights. And yeah, rising lights. It sounds like you're saying razor blades in Australian accent. Guys, I don't know anything. Please ignore me. Always ignore me. Press mute when you see my mouth open, please. I'm begging you.
Dang. I need the explanation on where you hear this from, because I'm like, I never heard of this.
It's
like, I have an Australian friend, so like, what's going on here?
No, it's a thing. Ask them next time. Well, I guess they wouldn't know. Like, that's probably not a thing Australians discuss. But I heard it somewhere that if you say razor blades, rising lights, it sounds it's one or the other. Either like if you say rising lights, it sounds like you're saying razor blades in Australian accent, or if you say razor blades in Australian accent, it sounds like you're saying rising lights. Sorry if I'm offending any Australians. You guys are cool.
Exactly. You gotta make sure to throw that out there just in case, right?
I don't want to be dragged. Andre says, very wholesome episode for sure. I don't, if I jump out the window for my sister, but I sure will smack a bee for her. Listen, that's real. That's really siblings right there. What does retrograde even mean? Brick, do you know? Because I do not know what Mercury. I just know it means something, so you got to prep yourself.
It's like, isn't like, what's the way? Like it's like in the new, like things like times are changing. Like, you know, there's a whole evolution I think that's supposed to happen. Something along those lines. I think that's what that means. I'm not 100% certain, so don't quote me on that, right? But it's something along those lines where, you know, things are going to change for you, basically.
And that's negative or positive, so it might be the end of. Oh gosh, that's scary. Well, I mean, there's only like a couple days left of it being in retrograde, but apparently it's going to be in retrograde again later this year. So if you can survive Mercury being in retrograde, you can survive anything.
Look. We survived the whole 2012 Mayan calendar doomsday
True.
device thing.
True.
I
Doomsday
mean,
device. Not the whole device.
it's the whole thing, right? Like freaking the Mayans are telling us you all about to die, and we're still here. So I mean, I don't know.
That's true.
Nostradamus is wrong too, so I don't trust any of these.
That's true. Oh wait, Andre says, Wikipedia says in astronomy it describes the orbit of a celestial body that runs counter to the direction of the spin of that body which it orbits. I don't know what that means. You know when you read a definition and you're even more confused? I guess it just means like the energy, the vibes, they're not off, they're just moving counterclockwise. The vibes are counterclockwise. So you just gotta watch out for that because usually they're, clockwise. So I should make this my main job, interpreting Australian. Once again, Australian.
Oh, there it is.
We love an Australian queen. Thank you, mates. Thank you, mates.
Don't do this. Eddie, why?
I need to. I want to be able to do accents. Like I feel like that's so cool when people can whip out an accent. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, that was a really quick recap. Overall, very cute episode. Loved it.
Yes.
Moving on to episode 12. So in episode 12, it's a Honey Senpai episode. Honey Senpai Hive, can I hear y'all? Anyway, it's a Sunday. How dare you? I'm muting you. You're on timeout.
Whoa.
Leanne,
don't
ban break somehow. Ban break. Ban him from my internet connection. How dare?
I just kid. All right, calm down.
But yeah, episode 12. We start off, I was actually kind of confused because we start off with somebody and I'm thinking it was the twins, but what I also was thinking is that something the twins did got Tamaki involved or resulted in Tamaki spilling tea on Honey Senpai's stuffed animal Usa-chan. But I know it just starts off with both the twins and Tamaki being worried because tea has been spilt on Usa-chan and they're worried that Honey Senpai is gonna kill them essentially.
So like what happened is that the twins were chasing after Haruhi. They were trying to put her in a bunny suit, and that's how that whole debacle happened because they ran into the table and knocked the tea down onto the bunny. So that's the whole thing there.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So we have Usa-chan is drenched in tea. They're really, really scared because right now Honey Senpai is taking a nap, which honestly they're like Haruhi at one point she was like a 17-year-old third year taking a nap, and I'm like he's onto something there because I was trying to I was sleepy. I remember being hella sleepy in high school, always tired. As soon as I would get home my butt would be in bed and at least take a nap until 5 or 6, and then I would start my homework. You get tired, it's very tiring. But yeah, he's taking a nap. And they're like, we're scared because if he wakes up and he sees us, he's going to kill us all. And they're freaking out. But it kind of resolves itself because he ends up waking up. And Mori comes in with the clutch shave. And he's like, oh, Usa-chan wanted to drink tea. So I guess we threw it on his face. But yeah, and then Honey Senpai's like, all right, bet. That's great.
I mean, it's a bunny, you don't know what it's doing. If I try to jump into the goddamn teacup and it said, oh, and it was over for it. Yeah.
That's true.
You never know.
You don't know Usa-chan's motivations, Honey Senpai. You don't know what he does when you're asleep.
There's a reason why Usa-chan, he thought Usa-chan needed some cake too. He's like, hey, let's give Usa-chan some cake. Why not?
That's true. Hey, Jadella, welcome to the stream. Okay, I wanted to see if anyone... why did we only have Leanne, speaking facts, why did we only get nap time in kindergarten? What a scam. We didn't even appreciate it back then. I definitely was scrapping with my kindergarten and preschool teachers. I was like, I don't want to sleep. So
and now look at us. Look at us.
we should get nap time at work too. I get tired. I get really sleepy.
I work 12 hours, so I mean I take that.
I imagine. And it has to be separate for lunchtime. So a 45-minute nap time, 52-hour lunch break, 45-minute nap time. That's what I'm declaring right now. Yeah.
Dang,
when I run
you
my
ain't
own
getting no
company.
work done.
I mean, you still have to work, but you have to make sure your work's done, and then you can have your nap time. You can have your 2 hour lunch. It will be split up into. I love how I'm like laying this out as if I'm actually running a company here. Split out your 2 hour lunch time, 30-minute segments throughout the day. Everyone gets a 45-minute nap, but you have to prove that you accomplished something that day. And this is why
See,
I'm a CEO.
she's already getting started. She's already getting started. It's freaking the anime club is gonna expand to this global conglomerate, right? And when we run this business, and this is how she's gonna set the model. There's gonna be nap times for the anime
Exactly.
club society. All right, that's what's about to
Exactly.
happen here. That's what's going on.
I'm gonna open up an anime country club. So if
Oh
you want to
snaps!
be a part of that, if you guys are looking to join a professional anime club in 2 years, don't keep an eye out. Um, ooh, and then you get one in college and can't take it because of commitment. That's so true. I actually quite enjoyed
Huh.
college because the fact that you got spaces between classrooms, I mean, between classes. Like, I would space out most of mine to be in the morning, but it was nice that you actually got, like, you had time to do whatever you wanted. Like, sometimes I think about, like, high school, and I'm just like, how did you do that? Just like, what is it, 7 hours straight of school, and you
It's,
attended and you didn't like just fall like that seems wild in retrospect, honestly. But yeah,
it's
the
true. It's true.
the adult world is a scam. But yeah, so this episode is basically about the fact that Honey Senpai, he eats a lot of sweets, right? And with sweets come cavities. He's sure that he'll never get a cavity, but lo and behold, he does. And kind of to support him, but also to make sure his cavity doesn't get worse, Tamaki declares the host club a sweets free zone until Honey Senpai's cavity is cleared up. So the episode kind of is Honey Senpai like freaking out, flipping out because he really wants sweets, but nobody's giving to him. And Mori Senpai in particular is really like cracking down the hammer and making sure that he's not eating sweets before his cavity is healed, and like, making sure he's like sticking to what he should be doing. And so it kind
Yes,
of
had it on lockdown. Had it on lockdown. There was just like, there's no way. Honey was having the withdrawal symptoms. It was not good.
that was, oh my god, that was so funny. Like every single time Mori would like deny him sweets or kind of like circumvent his sneaky like, plots to get sweets, he would like have this thing where he's like, no, and he would like, there would be like a strike of lightning and he'd like fly into an abyss, and I'm like, all over some Kit Kat or like some cake, like come on, like why are you so dramatic? But I thought it was really, really funny. But it was just
Take
like,
his life.
yeah, I liked it because it was like you got like more insight to like the relationship between Mori and Honey, which I love them. And then you
Yeah.
also got to see like a more sneaky, mischievous, and a bit bratty side of Honey Senpai as well, which I really, really liked. But this all kind of
Oh, what, you like the bratty side?
yeah, honestly, don't throw me in jail because it's not like that. But I don't know what I said before. Remember when the first episode, when we like our first episode reviewing this, we talked about like if you went to the host club, who would be the person you would visit the most? I feel like I would visit Set Honey Senpai because I do like baby, like I like cuteness, like baby cute, like I like. I'm treading lightly because
So
I
you're
don't
so
want.
you're pretty much this girl or this club that happens in this episode. Then basically, you'll be a part of that whole thing, right? That's what you're telling me. Then
No,
you
because
love the mole.
I don't know because they make it weird. They make it weird. I'm just saying, because I like cute kids. Like it's adorable. Even though he's like 17, like I think it's adorable. And I was just like the whole time I was like when he first got his cavity checked and he had the little thing tied on his head and I was just like, oh my god, that's so cute. Like I stand. He's so adorable.
Again, she was the background girl saying, "Oh, just like
Oh.
just like them, just like them."
The thing is, those girls are kind of sus. I'm not sure if we and them are on the same wavelength, so I don't want to. I don't want to act too early and like make them my comrades or sisterin. But I don't know. Maybe he's my best boy at the time being. We'll see. Well, I guess it's the last day we're watching it, but I'm gonna watch the rest regardless, and I'll see if by the end I'm still. But I also like Mori a lot too because I really like men that don't talk, which sounds Sounds bad.
Shut up. I'm just look at you.
No, I like when they're just like kind of like stoic and like, so like it's like they don't talk much. So when they do say something, you know it's like important. I don't know.
Interesting.
I swear I'm not a weirdo. All right, he's just Honey Senpai's just adorable. Andre said I would go to Honey 2J. He's so adorable. I want to treat him like a little brother. There it is. See, it's cute. I love that. It's so adorable.
Look. No one's saying it isn't. I'm just saying, like, I mean,
stop.
Wait, give me that look.
Because what are you gonna say? You said I mean ... You mean what? I feel like you're trying to do this expose of me. No, what do you mean?
No, do you, Queen? Do you awesome, right?
Okay, fine. I don't know. I stand. You guys get it. But anyway, this whole like, you know, Honey trying to sneak sweets and them stopping him kind of comes to like a like heat, I guess. When Mori, what is it? Oh, okay. So Mori and Honey like are fighting because he wants to eat sweets and Mori's being really, really stingy and like just like standing his ground or not letting you know, Honey eat anything until his cavity's healed. And so Honey gets really, really upset and he like does like a double suplex, you know, Cold Stone Steve Austin, like, you know, drop kick roundhouse choke slam on Mori. And I was even shocked because I was like, dang, it doesn't have to get physical. And he basically, you know, says to Mori, I hate you, and he runs away.
Look, these are the symptoms right here of people with withdrawal. All right, it's what happens. First they're sad, you know, they start losing their mind, they start scratching themselves, you know, they start losing themselves, and once they crack, that's when the violence happens. And Honey cracked and gave that boy a full judo flip. All right, he's like a rolled on the ground. He was hurting. He was getting back up. He's like, oh god, like it was not good.
Oh yeah, when he tried to get back up and he like flailed to the side, that was so funny. But it was like really tense. And then we get like this scene where like Haruhi kind of points out that like Mori wants this to happen. Like he's being super strict because he wants Honey to hate him. And the reason is because he feels like it's partially his fault that he got this cavity in the first place. You know, he feels like if he was more diligent with telling Honey to brush his teeth, then he would have never gotten this cavity and then he would never be in this pain. So like Mori is like low key like really hurting, like not just because you know Honey's attitude, but because he blames himself for Honey having to go through that. What did you think about that?
Honey's his own person. It's like Honey can remember to brush his goddamn teeth. Like, so he is not a little baby. All right, you don't have to remind him every single time. Like, come on, man, don't put this all on anymore. Like
That's
he was.
True.
He was doing a lot this episode. I was actually surprised to see that he was doing so much. So I was like, okay, this is actually kind of nice to see Mori actually being super proactive, but he should not blame himself like this. Like, come on now. He didn't deserve that judo flip, right?
Exactly. I definitely agreed. And I was just like, but it was also interesting to think that, like, you know, that's how much he's, like, dedicated to caring for Honey, that he was, like, really that upset at himself that he let it get, like, dude, it's just a cavity, first of all. Like, but second of all, it was like, yeah, you're right. Honey is a grown man, even though it may not look like it. And, you know, he should be able to know when to brush his teeth. But, like, you know, it just kind of, like, enforced.
It's the little things, right? It's the little things.
That's true. That's true.
And yes, Andrew, this is the 5 stages of grief. That's exactly what this was that Honey was going through. Yes.
He was so dramatic. It was so funny. But yeah, so at the end, like, Honey, you know, it hits day 3. Honey Senpai's, you know, cavity is healed, so they can go back to, you know, eating sweets. And Honey almost like immediately like apologizes, you know, kind of at the push of Tamaki. I'm not sure. Tamaki probably prompted the apology now that I think about it. But yeah, he goes back and he apologizes to Mori. And it's kind of like, you know, I'm sorry, you know, I was just freaking out, and it was kind of like a reconciliation. So at the end, he gets his sweets back, but we kind of got this emotional roller coaster with Honey being sweetless. But
yes. Actually, there's one other thing we forgot to mention It was
Oh, the girl who confessed to him.
well, that one, and also what's the guy with the glasses? What's his name? I'm having a blank.
Kyoya.
Yeah, Kyoya. Kyoya. This episode was actually really happy that Honey had a goddamn cavity because he couldn't eat sweets because he didn't have to buy any more sweets, which means they saved money doing that. He was like, "Yes, finally."
That was so funny. Oh my gosh. At first, though, when they had mentioned it and he was being all chipper, I thought it was like his usual messy self, like him just loving the drama, loving mess. But then when it like kind of wrapped up and it was like, oh, he was just trying to keep the budget. I was like, that is also very Kyoya, which is just so funny. That was so funny. Oh my gosh. I was dying.
Yeah, that got me. I was like, this sucker here.
I also wanted to point out some funny bits. Tamaki and the twins trying to get Haruhi to wear that bunny suit in place of Usa-chan and thinking that Honey Senpai wouldn't notice. The whole thing with Kyoya, Tamaki's bear keeping like it kept getting abused because
I saw it. Throw her on the ground.
I was like, "Jeez, let him live! Like, why is he collateral damage? He doesn't do anything to anyone."
That bear is not Uso-chan, so it's trash.
And then lastly, I wanted to bring up. They mentioned that Kyoya and Honey Senpai both have an AB blood type. Is anyone familiar with the whole like blood type personality thing? I wanted to look it up so we could have like a discussion on that. But like, I know that's like a thing. Like your blood type kind of motivates how you are. Like there's type A blood type people, type B, AB, I guess O as well.
Yeah,
but
I'm not gonna lie, that joke kind of went over my head when I heard it. I was like, why like AB people are supposed to be like evil or something? Like what are we talking about?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't know either. But I thought that was really interesting. It made me want to kind of look up blood types. Do you know your blood type? I don't know mine.
I believe mine might be B, but I don't know. It's been such a long time since I actually like bother to even like
check
look that up for myself. Yeah.
I'm trying to think in what scenario would you need to know, like, you know, obviously like if you're doing like a giving blood or needed some types of transfusion or something, but other than that, like your average daily thing, because I'm just like sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't even know my blood type, but then I'm like, when would I need to know it?
Like, why would you ever really need to know? Because you're not really ever gonna, well, unless you get put in that situation. But yeah. I mean, what the heck you doing to put yourself in that situation if it's not drawing blood, for donations? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe you try to be a donor because that comes into mind too. That's true. I don't know. That ain't me there.
But that's really interesting because I know that like comes up a lot. Not a lot, but I think that's like a Japanese thing, like the blood type. Like that's like a thing specifically there. But I know other people, like there's like, type A, type B people. Leanne says, fun fact, the mangaka of Ouran, Bisco Hattori, is also AB blood type.
Oh. Wait, so is he calling himself evil?
That would be funny. But they did have that disclaimer over there, like, no offense to people who are AB blood type, we're just playing, y'all.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really, really funny. Leanne says, same, I'm more with Break on this one. During all of that, I was just thinking all this over a cavity, and it's not even like he was mad about the dental costs since he's rich. He doesn't have to worry about money. LMFAO. He was honestly, Tamaki is the usual stunt queen, but there was some stunt queenery going on with Honey Senpai in that episode. Like, I was like, okay.
Yes. like I was just sitting here like, this is just kind of ridiculous. There's a whole episode on this, mind you. So it's like, okay.
And it was so good too. Like the fact that they could make a whole episode about this boy being upset that he had a cavity and trying to sneak sweets as if he is in a whole 17-year-old, which was another thing that I thought was funny because I was like, go home and you can eat what you want. Like, what are you doing? Like,
well, maybe he gets the best sweets there. No, because he has money. Wait, I don't know what the heck. Maybe Maury's like always there at home with him.
Maybe, but I don't know. He probably has like some private quarters. Like when he tried to sneak that bag. Oh my god, That part
Yeah.
when he tried to sneak the bag and he's like walking and Maury's like, your bag, let me carry it. And he's like, I can carry it myself. And then Maury's like, I know, give it to me. And then it's not like he drops all the candy out of it. I was like, literally, you're acting like a
So bad.
3-year-old. Oh,
Or that time he was trying to like get those two girls to like order some cake
Yeah.
so that he can have some too. He's like, so get out of here.
They,
He was
like,
trying
ran
so hard
away.
too. He's like, you know what, go good with that tea? Some cake. Come on.
Oh, and they were like running away crying. That was so funny. Oh God, that is so funny. Oh, what's up, Anime's Life? We didn't finish it. We didn't. Well, okay, so we only got to our whole thing was that we only do like 13 episode animes max. So we stopped at episode 13, and that's like us finishing it because that's the 13 episodes. But we did finish up to episode 13, so that's what we're discussing now.
Yeah.
Andre says, I don't know mine. Guess I'll have to ask my doctor next appointment. Oh, that's a good. Maybe if they would know. I think in Asian cultures, AB blood means you might have a wild, unpredictable personality. Huh. That's kind of cool.
Interesting.
I declare.
What's that based off of though? Like, why would it be that exactly?
I don't know. Well, maybe there's like a whole thing to it, like with astrology. Astrology? Yes, astrology, how it's like, oh, if you're a Libra, this, that, and that. Like maybe it's like a whole background thing. But, I guess I'm going to declare myself AB blood type then. I don't have to check.
Oh.
Because I like that description. I like that description, so I'm just it now.
There it is.
Yeah, so another cute little episode in the books. Once again, it was like Ouran has this great way of like making it cute and fun, but then also sticking like wholesome messages and sentiments in there, which I feel like is really personified.
Remember, kids, brush your teeth or you get cavities.
How many cavities have you ever had, or have you had any?
I've had about 4, if I'm not mistaken. And I got fillers for them. So
Same.
yeah.
I don't. It might have been a bit more than 4. I don't know. I'm a mess, so y'all should know that now. But I'm better for it now, guys. Brush your teeth, and also floss. That's very important. I feel like people don't, they think flossing's optional a lot of the times. Flossing's very important. That's how I got my 6 cavities because I thought it was optional.
Revealing these things. Okay, you're exposing yourself right now. Okay.
Haruhi is but I have great dental health now. Don't know why I did that, but Haruhi is a great character. Yes, I love her. Honestly, there's so many good characters to stand on this show. Like, based on the episodes we've watched up to 13, who would you say are your top 3 characters? Break and chat.
Top 3. Number 1, obviously Haruhi. Haruhi's great. I really like her character a lot. Like, especially for a main character. Like, I always watch shows all the time, and the main character is not always the thing that I like the most. Usually the side characters, because there's always some more edge to them, even more story, even because usually the main character is always kind of one note in a way. So like Haruhi's a whole thing. She's a whole character, and I like her a lot. So definitely number 1. Number 2 is gonna be Tamaki. I do like Tamaki. He concerns me a little bit at times, but he's still good. He's still good. I do like him. And third one, I guess would probably be Koya, because
he's cool.
I like his chaotic mess that he be doing. Like, wrong this okay.
I think mine would be pretty similar. I'd probably throw Honey Senpai in there somewhere. Yeah, I'd probably Haruhi 1, Honey and Tamaki 2, and then Mori and Kyoya. I guess. Dang, no love for the twins. Well, I'm sorry.
Look, we don't do twin sets here, right?
They dug their own grave with that, unfortunately.
Yeah, the moment they started doing that stuff too much, I was like, all right, I gotta bounce. I can't. Right?
Anime's Life says Kaoru, Haruhi, and Honey. All right, we got some twin love there. Andre says Honey, Haruhi, and a tie between Mori and Kyoya. Yeah, I feel like Mori, like, even though he hasn't spoken much, he hasn't spoken much, but when he does, it moves me. And it moves you guys too, don't lie.
Yeah, see how she's sitting there right now? She'd be like way over there by the mirror. And that's every time Mori talks, she's like, oh God.
So cool. Um, Leanne says for the first two cavities I ever got was in second grade. I had to get silver teeth, but luckily they were baby teeth, so they eventually fell out. Ooh, that's like a perfect
Oh
scenario.
dang.
That's a perfect scenario. Yeah. I wonder, I'm trying to think if any of my cavities were when I was younger. I don't remember. I remember I've been there. I had a really traumatic experience one time because they were like drilling my cavity or whatever, and they like numb your like gums, right? And like that area so you don't feel
Hmm.
it. And so the doctor was numbing my gums, but I don't know why, but my gums weren't taking to it. So they were drilling it and I could feel it. And so, like, literally,
Ah.
I was like, it was very dangerous because, like, stop. And, like, they have drills in their hand and they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I can feel that. Well, I'm not doing this or whatever. And so they're like, oh, we can numb you more. And I'm like, I don't trust that numbing cream or whatever. And I was just like really, really triggered. I just basically had to go home. So then I ended up getting like a couple more cavities after the fact. Yes, I didn't learn my lesson, guys. I'm sorry, I'm a fool. But every time I would do it, I would literally have such like a trigger reaction. Like even if I was actually numb, I would start crying immediately because just like their
Oh.
memory of how much it hurt and how much like it took me by surprise would always like come into my mind. And so I ended up to get over it, I had to listen to music really, really loud just so I couldn't hear the drill. And I was still like shaking. But yeah, so
It's
misery.
almost it's almost as if we out here having the same childhood right now. I had that same experience happening. The
Really?
difference is I didn't leave though. And like that numb they use like some like gas or something like that's supposed to numb me like all together like my face and stuff,
Ah.
but it didn't do nothing. So I felt the entirety of it, and I sat there and I was gripping super hard on that
Oh.
freaking chair, and I was just taking it because she's like, "Oh, don't worry, we're gonna get through it soon. It's gonna be quick. It's gonna be quick." And I was just like, "Oh,
How dare
yeah, exactly."
no.
Yeah.
I would have oh my god, no. No.
Look,
How
I was kids, I didn't understand. I was just like, they're adults, so I gotta go ahead and do it. I guess at this point, since we're here, like,
that's so
but god dang it, those
heartbreaking.
were like the worst 30 minutes of pain that I had. Like, God, I still remember. I can still feel it like to this day because that's how bad it was. Well, it was. Like, it's not a good feeling.
We
It's not.
we gotta do a class action lawsuit against that numbing cream and numbing gas because what the f? Like that's so weird that it just like was like I think we're not, or maybe our bodies were just like nah we're not doing that today because that's just like so wild. But that's so triggering that they were just like well I guess maybe they weren't aware that it was like hurting you that much, but like still that's like oh that makes me so sad. It makes me so sad for kids too because I like that's a very common experience. I feel like kids won't speak up because they like assume if like all the adults are on board, it's just how it has to be or whatever. But I'm so sorry. That sucks,
Yeah, I mean, it
man.
is what it is. Like, luckily, I have pretty high tolerance to pain, but still, like, whew, I was crying and everything. Like, the tears were flowing. The tears were flowing.
Oh yeah, I feel like when they see the tears, they must be like, maybe then maybe we should dial it back because they shouldn't be crying, even if it's just because they're scared. Like, what the heck? Let's do. Oh my god, class
This is why I
action.
didn't trust these suckers half the time, all right?
Honestly, what the heck? I got
Anytime I had to go there to go get the dentist work, freaking get my shots or any of that stuff, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know about these suckers here because tell me suckers just gonna be doing it right and go get a shot. It's like a misses and it's pain. It's pain. It's like how you miss. Like, like my veins are obvious. You could see it. Like I don't know.
Oh, I had a situation like that when I forget. I went somewhere and they were trying to give me a shot, and the guy was like trying to put in my vein. And the thing is, to be fair, like this has never happened for me before. Anytime I got any type of shot or had to get any blood drawn or whatever, usually the person's like a seasoned vet, so they just do in and out. But this guy, I guess he was like newer, so he was having a lot of trouble, and I was like freaking out because he was just like, "Oh, my bad. Let me try that again. Oh, my bad." I was like, "Wait,
What?
what's going on?" I was scared. I was like, but I didn't want to be mean because, like, I don't know, because he might have been having a hard time or whatever. And like, as long as he wasn't like physically like damaging me, then I was like, okay. And I was like, the vein is kind of hard to find. I mean, I've never been trained for it, but so I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Wait, Anime's Life says I got to not lose teeth ripped out of my mouth because I'm allergic to laughing gas. Wait, what? My dad almost punched my dentist. The dentist got fired. How does that? let's backtrack because there's
What is going
gaps we gotta
on? What is
fill.
happening?
How does that happen? Wait, was it like you were like struggling or something because you were having allergic reaction or that is all
Yeah,
right, you better join our
that's
class action. That's insane.
I know. All right, let's go. We got to stop these dentists, sir. There's something wrong.
That
What
because
the heck?
I need to see this. No, you have to write the sequence of events because I need to. That sounds miserable. Like, how do you? That's scary.
Miserable and just pain all the way.
Yeah,
That's just the pain trains right there. Like you got some pain tolerance right there. God dang.
I would honestly, I would just be like, you know what, take the rest of the teeth. Like, what the heck? Because I'm never having anyone touch my teeth. I'm not eating. I'm not chewing. Like, if something's harder than a hamburger, get that thing out of my face. That is, oh my god, that's insane.
This shit about to go on a liquid diet.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would scare me so much. I'm sorry that happened. Um, wait, Leanne says, I just finished reading volume one of Ouran High School yesterday, and in the author's note, the mangaka says that when she asked people to write who was their fave, Hari who was in first place, then Mori, which surprised her because she thought Tamaki or the twins would be the first. There's something about a Mori
Hey,
type man.
what is going on here?
There's
Why is War so
something.
popular?
I
What's happening?
it's just a charm. I don't know. I feel like it's like the whole like stereotypic like, oh, like in a boy band you have like the brooding deep type or whatever. There's just something charming about like someone who's silent but reflective. I don't know. Maybe it's just me living out my fantasies. I don't know. I don't know. Like
Oh wow, the fantasies too. Oh.
because Tamaki is also very charming. Like honestly, the mangaka snapped because all these characters are very very charming. But I don't know because it is weird because he doesn't talk a lot. But I don't know.
I
Maybe I'm
mean,
just
he gets the job done. Apparently, if he's number two, I'm just like, okay, all right. I gotta maybe I'm just not seeing it. I need
damn
to get on
straight.
board.
But that's like when I kept there was like some ranking for My Hero Academia, and like Bakugo is always like one. He's always very high, and I was like,
I just don't understand
y'all need
that. I just
taste.
don't understand it. Like they keep saying and swearing that his character just gets better and like he's just a better character and yada yada. But it's like I've watched how many seasons now and he's still kind of trash. He's getting better now. I'll say that, but he's still trash though, and it still doesn't negate the fact that he's freaking told Deku to die. Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
He was too mean for my flavor. Just like Endeavor. Like to be fair, I don't know. I only watched like up and halfway till season 4 properly. I've watched some of the current season. So I don't know. I heard that Endeavor has like a really cool, deep, life-changing arc, but like he's a trash dad, like and trash person. Like I get that like he's struggling with the
You have to
fact.
you have to see it. You have to see it then, because his redemption is comes in that arc, and I have to admit,
I just can't because
it's
it's an
it's it,
abusive parent. And like it's really weird to see everyone be like jump to like defend him and be like, oh blah blah. When it's like in any other scenario, would y'all be defending an abusive parent? I
oh
don't think
no,
so.
oh no, he would cancel immedially. He would never get a job anywhere. So
It's
I
because
mean, I
he's
get it.
fine. That's what I'm saying. Let me
Oh,
no, because
wait a minute. Explain.
it's not that I think he's fine. It's just that he has a nice build, and I could see him being popular among people. I don't know. To be fair, I didn't watch the arc. I'm just saying for now, I think he's trash. But yeah. I'm
You
like,
gotta give him time, all right? You gotta give him time. I take it.
fine, I guess. Okay, Leanne says, okay, I heard this from someone who used to be in ER. And apparently it's really hard to find the vein. Even if you miss, even very slightly, the blood will clot. That's what I was thinking. Like, I was like, I feel like you usually, like, because I'm so used to getting, seasoned vets or people who've probably been like nurses and stuff like that for a while. Like, it's like you don't really see them mess up. But like, I would imagine it's very, very hard because even when like there's this test you do when you're trying to find when like you're trying to so like when you're for people who wear makeup, if you're trying to like find a foundation shade that matches you, one of the important things is not just like the shade, like the actual color of your skin, but the undertone. Everyone has like a certain undertone, so it can be warm, cool, neutral. It can also be like yellow, peach. There's like a bunch of other ones that I don't even know how to it's crazy. But like one of the ways you can check is by looking at the color of your veins. And like, I mean, I'm very dark, so that also might be an issue. But it's like I don't even know what I'm looking at. So imagine having to like actually find it and stick something into that. Like that's why I didn't want to give him too much, because I was like, well, as long as you're not killing me or anything or poisoning me as we speak,
Man,
I'm fine.
they got no excuse for me though. My veins pop out like they're very very visible. I mean, there's like probably a good chance you can see some of it right now.
Let me
Like
see.
my veins, they're just there. Like you can see a little bit right there. Like you could see all that. Like
Oh.
my just out there. So I don't know how the heck it's like a mist. It's there for your eyes. Like come on.
We'll sue them too. We're suing so many people tonight. Um,
Let's go.
okay, here's the story of how Anime's life got their teeth ripped out. Went into the dentist when I was about 7 years old. My dad brought me. I sat in the chair and they said they wanted to pull out two of my teeth. They were just like, time to pull out your teeth. I'm like, this is sus. They both were fine and barely loose. Oh, so it was like baby teeth. They put the
Oh,
laughing gas mask on me. Then I started wheezing. They took off the mask, grabbed the pulley thingies, and told me to try to relax. I held my dad's hand for dear life and screaming cried as why would they just go? Did they think that it actually worked?
what?
Jail. What?
What? You're out there coughing and everything too. What? Huh?
I No, but the thing is, it is similar to your story. How like you're sitting there crying. They're like, let's just keep doing. That's really strange that they were just like, I guess it worked. That is so weird. Okay, my dad said, I swear to effing God, I'm sure I would sue that company if we weren't saving for a house. Holy crap. Like, I'm not a
Mm,
dentist,
mm,
so
mm.
maybe there's like, I don't know, something that like indicates that even if the teeth aren't loose, we're gonna pull them anyway for some reason. But like that just seems sus from the get-go that they're just like, let's just yonk out these two not loose teeth. Like, what in the world?
That's some crazy crap right there. See, like for me, like when I was a kid, I did go to like similar doctors and not doctors, but there's some places like a lot of the time, so they do know me to some extent. And I
Mhm.
was a wild child when it came to going over there. So one of the times like I had to take a shot, I freaking they had to like hold me down, put me like a freaking like a bag, like a body bag type of thing. Like they had to hold me down like that bad because
Oh,
I was
dang.
refusing to take a shot because I kicked the freaking one of the nurses or one of the doctors and stuff like right in the balls and stuff. So I was trying to get out of there. Like it was bad. All right. Like I understand that they probably thought maybe I was just playing around or something, but
Dang. Oh, dang, you were fighting your way through that shot. Dang. Yeah, but that's crazy. Oh, okay. Barbie says, true, Bakugo is a really an asshole. I don't see how people are like standing, but again, I haven't watched the full thing. I even know like my brothers, they're like Team Bakugo now. They're like very, for him to become the number one hero. They're on his like team, so I don't know. But yeah, he was just too
Team
aggressive.
Bakugo, your brother. What's wrong with him?
They be standing him in our group chat, and I'm like, enough is enough. I don't want to hear it. But yeah, I don't know, because a lot of people, it seems like a lot of people are coming around to him in general. I mean, I feel like he always had his stands, but like I feel like a lot more people I see like simping for him on the timeline. So who knows what's going
Is your brother simping for him?
on. Apparently, like I don't know, I guess he's just really really cool, and I think a lot of people are like, it's cool that like he wants to become better than All Might or whatever, like better than the number one hero and stuff. So that's like a good, I think it becomes to, because I was thinking about it, and like I don't know if this is spoilers, but like with Deku, obviously what he does, you know, has a lot of hard work like put into it. Like he didn't just like, there was a reason why All Might chose him, and then even to like control the one for all power, like he has to like work really really hard. But it becomes that kind of chosen one thing where it's like of course he has to become really work really really hard to control the power and things like that, but it's like literally you inherited the power that the previous number one hero had, that also has a lineage of like a bunch of other heroes that we recently spoiler, that we recently found out that, you know, if he works hard enough, he'll be able to tap into. So it kind of almost feels like Bakugo's working at a disadvantage, because it's like literally you have so it's kind of like that kind of makes him like more of an underdog, and it makes you kind of want to root for him. But I don't like him, so he can go over there.
And that's how we got Todoroki. So let's go. Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like Todoroki Hive is quiet. Like, I don't really hear people like hyping him up.
He's not getting enough love. Like, the sucker out here actually struggling. He ain't winning. Like, Bakugo out here freaking just smacking people around, and he's like, it's easy. Like, I got a team. Nothing. Suck it out of here. Like, but for some reason, Todoroki just can't get it together. Like, bro.
Oh dang, not my fave. No. Wait, Andre says, Endeavor in this season is trying to make amends with his kids. Whole ass agree he's a terrible parent. All right, I'll look at it, because I did see that, like, I think it was like one of the earlier episodes in this season, like, there was like a moment there with him and like his family, and like I think he got like an eye scar too, and like Todoroki was being shady or something, like being like, look at you, clown. that side shade that he did with that one comment, I was like, bro. He was like, look, it's the circus, you clown. Like, I was like, get him. Yeah. Even though I hadn't even watched the previous episodes, I was like, try him. But yeah, I don't know. I tend to hold grudges, I've learned, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. So maybe I'm just being bitter. But yeah, I just don't get, I don't know. I feel like trash guy. I mean, obviously, if his kids accept him, who am I not to? But like, so far, trash.
You need to watch it. You need to watch it.
Trash.
You need to watch it at this point. You got to see some of the stuff that's going on with this family. That's all I got to say. You just got to see it. You got to see it.
Okay, but I don't like changing my mind when I already made up. That's why I get so uncomfortable watching Attack on Titan, because I'm like, no, don't make me feel for these people that I feel like are bad. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, but in the manga you understand more Endeavor, even though in the beginning he was trash. I don't want to open my heart though, guys. I already decided to hate him. Don't make me change. No Endeavor love. No, it's closed shut. Oh hey Andy, welcome back. We're literally talking about everything under the sun.
Yeah, all right. We still got one more episode. We need a recap.
That's true. I'm gonna read these couple comments and then we can hop back. Oh wait, I'm really behind. I did not realize. Todoroki gets too much love. Too much. No, that's my fave. That's my homeboy. What? I love him though. Todoroki is cute. I'm sad. I'm with the Deku Hive, but Todoroki is a close second. I also am with the Deku Hive. Remember that moment where like Deku was just getting dragged for filth? I think it was like the Lemillion era when we first meet like that big three. People were like, why is he the main character? He's like, what? And I was like, I'm gonna head out.
Look. If I have to be real though, Lemillion actually is a better character than Deku. I'm just saying, all right? I'm just saying.
Get out. Ban him, Leon.
I'm just like he worked super hard to get his ability to be as good as he even was. Because anybody else probably would have thought, oh, this ability is trash. But what Vermilion ended up doing and how he trained to get his body the way it is, like, it's crazy how good this second got with what he had. Like, I don't know.
But isn't that what Deku's doing now? Isn't that what Deku's doing now with trying to control One for All?
I mean, yes, he is, but it's like it's different in a way
because you hate him.
The fact that he just had what? No, I don't. I don't hate the guy.
I'm just being sensitive. Sorry. Continue.
I'm just saying, like, he now has this old, like, you already knew his power is already overwhelming as it is, but now he has even more. It's like, come on. That's true. Really, again, he just had that little bit, that one little phasing ability. Like, come on. He was phasing through everything when he was a kid. Like, it was just like, I don't know. I resonated better with him, seeing his whole character arc and everything. So I can't help but to really like Vermilion, and it just sucks what happened to him because he didn't deserve it.
No spoilers. I haven't watched that yet. Yeah, I'm.
You don't know what happened, but
no, So I'm weird.
How behind are you? Wait, because you're talking about like season 4 stuff. So it's like I'm confused on where you're at this point.
I like to, jump around here and there. So I only got to like I had got to the point where they have not gotten Eri back, but they're chasing to try to get him or her. And then I stopped watching, and then I watched, I think it was the season premiere, maybe like the second episode of this current season, because my brother was watching, it was on. I wasn't gonna look away. And then like the most recent 3 episodes, he also watched that, and so I watched it with him because it was there and I was bored. So, you know, I don't know where I'm at chronologically, but there's a chunk I need to finish that I don't know. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, sorry. So somebody mentioned Hawk. I can't wait till I get to the episodes with him in it. And the bunny lady.
Oh,
Miriko?
Mirko, I think is how you say her name. Mirko.
Yeah.
Like
she was just, it's so funny, like when a new dark-skinned female character drops, like in any anime, all the black girls know.
Nowadays that's just what happens.
So
with the quickness.
So it's like when it happens, like everyone starts cosplaying her, and all the black girls are like, "That's what's up!" Like, and so it's like I knew of her before I even like really knew the character where she came in the series. But you know, I'm excited to see her because people seem to love her. But no Bakugo Hive. Everyone in the Bakugo Hive is getting banned.
You know what to do, Leanne.
Mirio deserves one for all. I liked that plot, that idea that like, you know, he should have got it, but my whole thing is that like he already has a power.
Yeah, I mean, he'd have more.
That's true. You know what? You're right. I like him too, though.
Yeah.
He's a little cutie. Mineta. Anyone who stands Mineta, ban him. Ban.
Oh, so is someone standing Mineta?
Wait, I don't know. Anime's life.
Please.
Oh wait. Anime's life says Mineta is redeeming himself. Is that true? I haven't peeped any Mineta.
What do you mean redeeming himself? What I watched this episode. How is he? How? Z, I need to know. What you mean? What? This guy's still trash from day one to now. He hasn't changed. I don't trust that sucker.
Is it like he's redeeming himself in his skill or redeeming himself? Because I feel like it's not like his power is kind of like, you know, whatever. But I don't think anyone ever thought he was useless. It's just that he's a perv. That's why people don't like him.
That's wrong.
Like his fighting is
He's
fine.
found a different use for his power. He found a different use for his power. So yes, there's that. But it's like Mineta's still Mineta. It's like what he just did not that long ago. It's like, really? Like,
in this house, we slander Mineta. JB like Bakugo sucks, but he's a fine. Bye, Chanel. I'm anti. Listen, I don't know. I am literally anti. What is it? An anti fan of Bakugo. I'm literally the president of the anti-Bakugo and Endeavor Club. We meet on Thursdays. You know, we have matching jackets if you would like to join. But I'm Deku High.
This girl said, "Yeah, how you gonna say that about freaking Endeavor? And yet you said this man was hot."
I said people think he's hot. Listen, I'm being slandered here. My words are being taken out of context.
Oh my god.
Leanne said Mineta needs to go to jail yesterday. Actually, ever since he made his first appearance. She said, why are you here?
How's he trying to be a hero with this type of personality? Like, I really need to know his whole backstory because it doesn't make sense. How? What, all he's gonna do is exploit his power if that's the case. No. I don't want him to actually be a hero. I don't want this.
Maybe he has like I don't know, because is there more, I guess, content for people who read the manga where like you get more like into like his motivations for being here and things like that? Because I can't remember if they ever talked about that from what I've seen in the series yet. But I don't know if like the manga has more content. Because honestly, you're right. What is his? Maybe he's just like supposed to be a play character, like that's here for fun. But
so when he's getting hit by a bus.
Don't do this shit. I mean, imagine that would be the worst. Oh my god. He probably like becomes reformed like when they graduate and become like actual pro heroes. Maybe he like has an arc where he becomes reformed and maybe he turns out to be the number one hero after they all grad. Like imagine the twist. Imagine. I'm calling it right now. Minetta's gonna
You're
turn out
killing me.
listen.
Oh no, get that crap out of here.
Would that not,
man.
would that not be the twist of the century? Tell me I'm wrong. I'm right.
I mean,
I mean,
it would be a twist, okay, but I don't look. We don't need that. All right? We don't need this. Throw him in the trash, please.
All right, let's jump back into the final episode wrap up because we do need to have time to vote for the next show. All right, so
Yes.
Episode 13. Break, you already gave a little spoiler by saying it was very weird. It was a very weird and abstract episode, but I quite liked it. So this episode kind of parodies Alice in Wonderland. So we get an opening scene where it's kind of like, we kind of see it as like a flashback because it's Haruhi, she's in her middle school outfit. It's clearly when she's in middle school and her dad are going to visit Ouran Academy. We kind of hear like the Ouran, I guess one of the Ouran liaisons talking about how she got really high test scores and she's going to fit in on Ouran and she's going to do really, really well. And so like her dad's kind of talking with this guy and she's like, he's like, she wanted to do everything on her own. She was very independent. And so while they're talking, they're like, oh, while we talk, you can go like look around the school. And that's when we kind of step into this really like fantasy world that's pretty much a one-to-one parody of of Alice in Wonderland in terms of how they navigate. Like you had like the twins being the Cheshire Cat. You had, honestly, I don't really know Alice in Wonderland that much, but I guess Tamaki was the Mad Hatter, I'm assuming. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's like the only one I knew because I don't know. I never watched Alice in Wonderland, so I don't know it to that extent. So I'm like, I don't know all the characters. I've seen some stuff, but I don't like know their names. All I know is Mad Hatter, and I'm assuming that's what Tamaki was. So you're doing better than I am with this. So keep going. Keep explaining.
Listen, I only know two. I only know one more than you do, so don't give me too much. But essentially, I thought this was really cool, especially because this is the Oh, okay. Anime's Life saying Kyo was the caterpillar. I was like, is the caterpillar a character? Because I could see it was a caterpillar, but I was like, I wasn't sure if like what that was gonna, what that was.
Yeah, I believe it was a character. So,
okay. Yeah. So yeah, and so you get like the kind of this story, and I thought it was really cool because it's the last episode we're watching, but it's obviously not the last episode. But I thought it was a cool like midway segment because you kind of got like this recap of everything we've seen up until then, because there's a lot of cameos. There's a lot of references to stuff that happened throughout the show, but there was also a lot of cameos for characters we've seen leading up to that point. You saw the Lobelia girls, the little boy from that one episode who wanted to press his girlfriend, or the little girl he had a crush on, who was then moving to Germany. He was there. We saw Nekozawa and his sister. We even got a cameo from that girl from like literally episode 1 who threw Haruhi's crap out the window. Like I was like, okay, we don't need everyone to make a cameo. We could have left it. She could have stayed.
And she was upset being here too. She's like, what the heck? Why am I cooking?
I was like, oh, well, she knows. But I thought it was a really, really trippy episode because it was definitely like alluding, like I think it was kind of like, what would you call it, a metaphor or kind of like a way for Haruhi kind of to address why she's so like studious and some of the, maybe unspoken about kind of tension or issues she had in terms of like her mother and her death. So you kind of get this plot. At one point, Nekozawa turns into a baby, and you realize the baby belongs to Renge in this like weird world. And so at one point, Renge's like, "Hey, take care of this baby, Haruhi." And Haruhi's like, "What? Like, don't you want to be like the baby and the mother should be together or whatever?" And she's like, "Well, I gotta go. Bye." And we kind of see that come up again at the end because Renge goes on trial for essentially abandoning her child. And Haruhi comes to kind of save Renge in this world because they're gonna like, execute her if she loses this trial. So Haruhi comes and like represents her, and she's kind of like defending Renge, but also defending the idea of like a working mom can't always be with her child. And somehow, like, I mean, that's okay because like the child, like, you shouldn't always expect it and stuff like that. And so like we learned that the two judges, I guess you would say, putting Renge on trial are her mom and her dad. And you know, it's specifically like kind of like this beautiful moment when she realizes the other judge is her mom, because obviously her mom died a while back and she hasn't seen the mom for a while. So they kind of reconcile, and the mom's kind of like, Haruhi, I want you, like, I feel like you suffered a lot because of me, so I want you to now, you know, go out and have fun, and you don't have to be so studious, you know, just making sure you have fun. So it was kind of like, you know, an episode where they were able to, in this like really fantastical way, talk about more about Haruhi and why Haruhi's the way she is and how her mom's death affected that, which I thought was really, really deep. Were there any standout moments in the episode to you, Break?
So, you know, honestly, after you recapping it, you make it sound so much more interesting than when I first watched the thing. I was sitting here like, man, this feels like a goddamn filler episode, especially how it ended, because she just woke up. I'm like, this is a dream sequence. This whole thing. I was like, look at this bullcrap. I mean, because at the end you see her waking up and you actually see, you know, the club actually dressed up as like, you know, well, Alice in Wonderland, like they're about to go and do something like the whole play. I guess I don't know. They always dressing up as something,
Right.
but she is happy with the fact that, hey, you know, this place is just fun as heck. I'm glad I'm actually here because, you know, I'm not always just studying. You know, that was like kind of the theme that was going on with this as well. So it's like I saw it. But you know, you after you explaining it, it makes a lot more sense. Now, looking back at it, the episode's a little bit better than I give it credit for. Then, because like initially, I was like, this feels like filler. Why are we watching this? Why is this the last episode, mind you, that we're watching? Because like it's definitely filler. It really felt like it, but I don't know. I feel like it's honestly the weakest episode of our host club.
Wow, really?
And that's why I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Fair, because it was very, very abstract. I don't know, I love Haruhi so much, so anytime we can really get into like her character and motivations, I really like it. Like there was this one point in this episode where we were about to hear her reasoning for coming to Ouran High School Host Club. Like it was that scene where she was sitting with Mori, who Mori in that mouse outfit was so cute. But Mori, Honey Senpai, and Tamaki were in like this cafeteria, and they were kind of just chilling out. And he was like, you know, why do you study? Like, why did you come here? Blah blah. And she was like about to be like, oh, you know, I have a dream that I want to accomplish that I only can accomplish by coming here, and that is. And then like Tamaki kind of cut her off. I was like, no, I want to hear what it is. Like, I'm really interested. We'll never know. I don't actually know if we ever find out. But yeah, so I was like really interested in that.
Don't tell me that.
I mean, listen, we're stopping here, so if you want to read on and or watch on, you can if you want to find out. But
true.
I'm not sure.
We're gonna find out.
Leanne says, even though deep down I knew it would happen, but it still made me sad when she woke up right before she got to hug her mom. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
True.
That is really, really sad. Yeah,
it's right there. I was like, that's the one thing that got me the episode. I was like, all right, see, I get that, you know.
Yeah.
It's your mom right there. I was like, oh, I kind of felt it too. I mean, I got the little tingles. I won't lie.
Aww.
That was a good moment right there.
Soft break.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was really, because, you know, we don't really see Haruhi. I don't want to say she's emotionless, but she does seem like the type to bottle things up. So I feel like this was such an interesting way to show her feelings. Like there was one part in particular when she gets into the room with Kyoya being the caterpillar, and she's dropped into this pool, and Kyoya mentions how the pool is supposed to be filled with her tears that she cried. And so he, like, I feel like even makes a comment that like, oh, it's so big. And I was really surprised because it's like, we've never seen Haruhi cry, and we've also got this kind of idea that she's very independent and stuff like that. So it's like, girl, like how much are you holding back in front of people that like there's this huge pool full of tears, and yet, you know, people know you as this really independent girl. And that kind of made me really, really sad, because I was like, dang, she must really be hurting more than she lets on. But
which is true. I mean, obviously, but given that, you know, again, doing way too much by herself, so obviously she's gonna have those moments where she's alone out there in the corner, balled up. Like, I mean, unfortunate, but again, joining the Ouran Host Club, I'm pretty sure those tears ain't there no more. So
yeah, Which I did want to mention, you mentioned this already, but at the end when she wakes up, I watched the English version, but that line she says when she's like, "You guys have too much fun. Around here, I can hardly tell when I'm awake." Because like you said, they're dressed in the Alice in Wonderland get up that they were dressed in.
Yeah.
I was like, that's so beautiful. Like, oh my God, like, heal her. Like, I was like, this is so like cute. Like, that almost made me cry because it was like, oh my God. Imagine having such a good, like, fun, like, supportive group of friends like that can make you feel like, you know, you're always living like your best life in a fantasy. I thought that was really, really cute.
And never boring.
Never boring. Yes, that was. I don't try. Sometimes when I watch these shows, I'm like, did I really live a youth to my fullest, or was I like Haruhi and stressing over too much about studying and getting into good schools and stuff like that?
I know, right? Just don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Right.
It'll only make you sad.
That's true. Well, you know, I always like to tell myself, if I think that now, the me 10 years from now will probably think that about me now. So instead of just thinking about what I could have did better in the past, live so future me can be happy with what past me did now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I get it.
So,
man,
yeah.
Why are you out here spitting life lessons all of a sudden?
Listen, I'm just doing another plane. I don't know why I started rapping, but yeah. But yeah, there's a couple of things I wanted to point out that I thought was cool. Kind of building on the fact that we had a lot of cameos from people that we've seen throughout the show. There was also a lot of nods to just like things that happened throughout the show that I thought was cool. For example, there was a lot of references to the bananas that are always causing these people to trip and fall
every time.
That came up a lot. There was also, they give a nod to the light bulbs that went off in episode 1 when each member found out that she was a girl. They kind of had a reference to that, and then at one point the light bulbs were shaped so they made the character for woman in Japanese, which I thought was really cool. That was a nice reference.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even catch that reference. What?
I was like, as soon as I saw the light bulbs, I was like, light bulb. There's also, I thought was
my light bulb was dim the entire time. Apparently, then
it was off. You were like, no one's home.
Yes. I never got it yet.
There was a part I really, really liked was so as I mentioned before in this, the twins were Cheshire Cat, but when they were first introduced, you only see I think it was Kaoru, I think it was, and he's like kind of introduced as like the cat or whatever. Renge's like Cheshire Cat, I believe. And so like there's this one scene where she's walking through these pillars, and like we know obviously that it's Kaoru and Hikaru that are like, you know, weaving in and out, but they're trying to give the impression that they're only one person. And so when Haruhi leaves that scene, she mentions like something about there being two of them or whatever, and then they kind of come together when she leaves, and like, how did she know there were two of us? And I thought that was a cool nod to the fact that she was able to tell them apart in the episode they were fighting, because she just knows them so well. She was aware that they were two separate people. So I thought that was a cool like allusion to that. I have a note here. Mori is very cute as a mouse in his mouse costume. That was very.
You said that already. Why are you going back to that note?
That brought me to tears, if you will. They had this reference. Oh, they had a reference to like the fact that she can't tell the difference between fancy tuna and not, and Tamaki freaking out about that. But then they also had this reference. In the trial scene at the very end, suddenly she becomes on trial. Like they put her on trial. Suddenly, imagine if you were a lawyer, defending your client, and they're like, you know what, you're on trial too. I was like, nah.
What? I need a lawyer now.
I was like, nah, I'm out of here. That's not how that should work. I was dying.
I didn't know I was gonna stay on trial too.
Right, one at a time. No double jeopardy. That's not what that means, but I was dying. But they made an allusion to the fact that she broke a vase, and I didn't get a chance to check. But in the very beginning, when she like gets into the Alice in Wonderworld land, she like lands in a vase, and like she can't remember whether she actually broke that vase or not. And I was like, neither can I. Did she actually break the vase in the beginning of that episode or not? Okay, I was
no, because what happened is that she ended up eating the bananas, got smaller, and the vase was just sitting there. It wasn't actually broke.
Okay, yeah, and I was like, what is that supposed to like reference? The fact that she can't remember if she broke the vase, and they're saying like, is that supposed to them being alluding to what actually happened in real life, or are we? I don't know. Who knows? I just thought that was really, really interesting. So I don't know. Overall, I just thought that episode was really, really cool because it just had so many like little nods here and there to different things in the series, and I thought the ending was really, really sweet.
Well, I have to give credit back to the episode. Then I take back what I said.
You better
It was not trash, but look, I still think maybe that this episode is like one of the weaker ones. All right, I will stand by. I'll stand by that.
It didn't have as many laughs as like they usually do, so.
No, I wasn't laughing that much. I wasn't laughing at all. They're trying to put me in the field anyway, so it's like, why are we laughing? Yeah.
That's true, guys. I'm not trying to be that deep. Honestly, sometimes I do get deep. Snaps up, sad. Andre said
she got deep on this one. I was like, what's going on? I looked up, I had all that. Like, what? She's analytical right now. Like, whoa.
They got deep, so I'm trying to match that energy. You know what I'm saying? But no, I have a tendency to be very reflective, and not in a good way. Like, I feel like you can be nostalgic in a good way, and you're like, remember the good old days, or you can be like, dang, remember I could have been doing this, that, the boop, but the boop, bop, bop on the back, and like I just didn't. Like, I'm very romantic with it too. Like, I romanticize times. Like in college, for example, I was very stressed out. Always had something to do, but then I'm like, why didn't you like join more clubs in college like that? Like, why didn't you have a club experience? Why didn't you go on more like, girls trips or go out? And I'm like, girl, you were literally pulling out your hair doing these assignments. Stop. Like, it was not as romanticized as you make it. But that's
how your mind works though, right? Like your mind just starts. Well, every time you look back at the past, you don't think about the negative stuff that was there. You think about only just the good things that did happen there, and you're like, man, that wasn't so bad after all. Even though you were struggling hard,
exactly.
Like, it's ridiculous how your brain will do that to you.
Mm-hmm. I've heard, and this is probably false, and somebody can clock me, but that's why women get pregnant more than once, because your mind will block out how painful it actually was. Because if you remembered, you wouldn't do it again. This was probably some garbage I heard on Spike TV or something. But like, yeah, I heard. I don't even know where I heard it. I probably read it on like Reddit or some trash or something. But they were like, yeah, like the reason why women can get pregnant multiple times, or do get pregnant multiple times, is because they don't remember how painful it was. When they gave birth.
So when a woman gets pregnant like 8 different times, then like they're telling me that they just don't remember, or like how does it work?
I don't know. I'll just be saying stuff. Anyway. I mean, that's what they were saying. I'm like, that kind of makes sense, because that does look painful. And I feel like if I did it once, I don't even want to do it once. But if I did it once, I'm like, all right, we good for the next 35 years. Yeah, I'm good on that one.
Like, you might as well just call it a wrap there at that point.
Exactly. Wrap the fallopian tubes. We're not doing this again.
Oh my God.
Leanne says, okay. Leanne has some more analysis. Also, I think Haruhi's dream is implied to be a lawyer because she wants to fight justice like her mom. Oh my God, she wants to be a lawyer.
Yeah, that's true. Why? What? That makes perfect sense. Actually, that's actually that. Okay.
Leanne with the top takes come through. I thought it was kind of touching that even in this dream scenario where the host club are strangers, she can still recognize them deep down. Yeah, that was really cute. There's like a back and forth where she shouldn't know who they were, but she did because it was them. That was very, very cute.
Yeah.
Okay, why are you describing me, Jay? I feel like that's what a lot of people do, though. They like romanticize the past. Like, it's like, Oh, this was so dreamy. Like if you had a cast, you're like, oh my God, remember when I had a cast and everyone was signing and stuff? And it's like, you broke your arm. You were in pain. Like, like
But there was love, lots of love there.
there is love within that pain waiting for you. But
And
yeah,
think about it too. Once you take the cast off, are they all those people are gonna be there? Or are those people gonna be there?
that's
All of
true.
them loving you.
That's true. Isn't that the plot of Hello Evan Hansen or whatever that song that you know that musical? There's a I'll just be saying things. There's a
No,
musical.
no, no. You could be saying something right. You could be spitting right here. I don't know. I don't know musicals like that. All right.
There's a musical. There's a musical, and there was a recent scandal. I love to report on scandals where there's this musical that was on Broadway and it popped on Broadway called Dear Evan Hansen about this guy who has a cast. I don't. Yeah, he has a cast, but that's not like the main plot. But essentially, they're making a movie of it, and the main character in the musical is a high schooler, and the dude who played him on Broadway, even though he wasn't like a high school at the time, he's now like 27 years old, and so he really does not look like a high schooler. So people were dragging him because they're like, "Get his old ass out of here! You should have got a real high schooler or whatever." And I was like, "Dang," because he's my age. So I was like, "Wait, don't drag me! Like, don't drag us."
Hey, look, look, look. You can still pass. What are you talking about?
Oh God, no! I mean, thank you. Thank you. But no. I think the youngest I could probably pass for is how old I am. Like maybe a couple. I think the youngest I probably could pass for is 24. Because also I don't really
Wait,
come off
wait,
as
wait. So you don't have people that think you're like 20 or something,
the youngest
or younger than that?
I got was at somebody said that they thought I was 23. But that's when I was 25. So it's
Interesting.
like yeah.
I mean, there's not really much of a difference from 23 to
That's
25
true.
like that, you know.
But I'll take what I can get. No, just kidding. But I don't know. Because I feel like I don't speak. Because I also think there's a je ne sais quoi to like age too. Like I think like that's why a lot of times when somebody will be like 20, it'll seem like they're 27. Not necessarily because they look old, but because they carry themselves in a way that's very adult like and like they know
Mm.
what they're doing. Like a lot of these Instagram models, they'll like it's not necessarily the look that makes them look like they're like make me think like they're 30 when they're actually like 21. It's that they're like, all right guys, here's my house, here's my ticket to Dubai, here's my like Jimmy Choo shoes, and it's just like it gives like a grown feel. It's like why would you care about Jimmy Choo's at 21? But I don't know, to each their own.
Perception at the end of the day, though. So yeah,
That's true. That's true.
understandable.
Andy says, whenever you have to introduce yourself and give a fact at the beginning of school, that was my go-to. Wait, what was your? Oh, that you're one of 7 kids. I mean, that is very impressive. I'm sure that would always get like a whoa or some weird
Yeah,
comments
I mean,
because people were weird.
oh, very, very, very.
um, Jadella says, as a person entering my college, people always say I'm under 18. Yeah, honestly, that whole age from like 17 to like 21ish, I feel like some people don't realize how babies they sometimes they look like until they go back. Like it's like they're like, oh, 1 alcohol, please. And it's like, give me your card. Like
You
you
want alcohol? That's where you messed up. Not
2
because of the way you
alcohol.
look. Because you said 1 alcohol. You're trying to get drunk. What you mean?
But yeah, that's interesting though. I want to hear the perspectives. Well, one question is, do you ever get mistaken for not your age, whether it's younger or older? And for like the younger people that are now entering your 20s, do you ever, I don't know, do you feel more grown? Like, do you feel very adult, or is it just like the same? Because I feel like, I don't know. I don't think
I
there was much
mean,
of a difference when I was younger.
it's not. Yeah, it's like it's not too much of a difference and everything. Because I mean, I don't know. It's like your mindset can change on stuff like as you get older and everything like that. So maybe that
Hmm.
could be what ultimately ends up making you change like to that extent. But personality is your personality. So I don't know. Like you're saying, it depends on how I guess you carry yourself. The wife who maybe think that you're that age already,
Hmm.
or some people do just look like little babies. So I mean,
That's true.
there's also that too. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
I'm always mistaken by my age because I do look younger than what I actually am. But still, it's like
Oh yeah, you do.
I don't necessarily find that a bad thing. That means I'm like it's not cracking right now. So that's good.
That's true. But I'm also bad with ages. Like I'll see George Clooney and I'm like, you're 25? Like, well, not really, but
Which
like
is true too. That could be also the other thing too. They be looking at people's faces and they can't tell from a 25 from a 35. Like
yeah.
they don't know.
That really do be jumbled, honestly. But sometimes I'm just like, I see somebody, I'm like, oh, they have to be like 35, and they're like, I'm 26, and I'm like, do I look like
Dang, man. You're telling them they look bad then.
No.
They out here freaking falling apart.
Oh my god,
Freaking looking decrepit.
listen, I am very against the idea that you can't be sexy and old. I had yesterday, some of you guys were there. I had a whole rant about how I hate how like they equate, especially for women, you have accomplished sex appeal as a woman if you can look like you're 25 for the rest of your life, like after you get hit 25. Like it's like always this thing, like with like J-Lo, for example. Like anytime they mention how gorgeous she is, it always has to be in relation to the fact that she doesn't look like she's 50 or whatever like that. And I hate this narrative that you can't be sexy and also old. Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't even know where I got this rant from. Now I'm mad.
From deep down within your heart.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Now I'm trying to swing on people. Andre says friends and families are starting to make the old man jokes because I'm 30, almost 30. Yeah, I don't know when 30 became like this thing where it's like, now you die. Like, yeah, what is up with that? 30 is very young. Know. Like 30 is very young. Like I feel like people don't understand. Like if the average person lives to their 80, which I don't know if that's true because I don't have any backing facts to that. You literally have 50 years after you turn 30 to live. How is that old? I would say even 40's young. Damn it, 50's young. You know what? 60's not that old either. You know what? 70, young spring chicken. You know what? 80, okay, let me stop. But like 30 is not that.
Okay, yeah, calm yourself. All right, hold on a minute. Your bones at that point are just not working, right? They ain't functioning.
How dare you? No, because I feel like part of the, aside from being afraid of like dying, when that comes with aging, like dying of natural causes, I feel like what scares a lot of people is that like there's this like natural thing that as you get older, people will care about you less. And it's like sometimes I feel really bad thinking about like, the 80-year-old in the nursing home where like their younger like daughters, sons or whatever treat them like a nuisance, or like just want them to go somewhere, or like that they're just not, nobody's happy to see them or something like that. Like maybe like the grandchild who's like, Grammy, do you have money for me, or something like that. But like other than that, like it's a nuisance. And I think that's really what scares people. And I feel like we do need to treat our elders better because they're not a nuisance. But it's very scary because
it's weird that they treat them like that when you're gonna be one of those people when you get older too. Like I don't understand how, like the concept of this stuff, because these young suckers be just like not caring, I guess, but they don't realize you're gonna be in that same position. Then you have these other young suckers doing the same thing that you. Like, do you really want this cycle to continue?
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly.
Hey, come on now, we gotta do better.
That's what I always say when you see them like kids. Sorry, teens in the chat. Some of y'all peers who are like, or well, maybe not teens, like maybe early 20 somethings, who are just like, 25-year-olds exist on Twitter, yikes, or whatever, or like they're like 27-year-olds like are in this fandom, yeah. It's like, do you just want us to wither and die? Like, what do you want? What do you want from me? All right, I'm just trying to have fun.
Not be in the group apparently. Right?
Exactly. And it's like, fine, like I don't want to, like, no shade, like I'm not trying to be shady, but like, for example, if I go to a con or something, I'm not trying to hang out with like a 19-year-old. I want to find other people my age that like nerdy ass geek stuff like me. So it's like, yes, enjoy your young side of the young fandom. Like I don't want to interfere with that at all. But like when we're minding our business over here and you're like, you are breathing at 28, it's like, all right, so
how are you walking? Where's your cane, sir?
To be fair, I make jokes about myself. I'm like especially with K-pop, which is funny because most of the people I know who like K-pop are literally in our mid to late 20s. We're like, or early 20s. We were like people who came in like, in the early to mid 2010s or whatever. But like every time I see, I'm like, oh, these children, oh, they do whippersnappers. So I'm insane. Andy says, Andy says, I'm 25, so the youngest I feel like I could pass for is maybe 23. Well, I feel like that's a lot of things because like a lot of people are like, oh, if you have any type of wrinkles, you can't pass. But face shape is very important too because if you have a longer face, I feel like you're going to come off as more older and sophisticated. But if you have like a rounder, maybe even chubbier face, you can pull off younger. But yeah, I feel like the average person though maybe could go a couple years older, a couple years younger. Barbie says, I'm 26 and I don't look my age. Younger or older?
I'm assuming younger here. unless
Benjamin Button. Is that what that was about? I don't
know.
No. Andy says, "Oh, my brother turned 31 this year, and I love joking an old man."
See, there it is, and there it is. You're the problem. Okay.
Do you no? Okay, heart to heart, because we do that here. Do you get sensitive when people say stuff like that?
No, not really, because no one really knows my age like that.
Oh, no, that's true.
Again, they look at me and they're like, this like ain't freaking 29. Like, come on, what's going on here?
What?
I'm old, all right?
You're not old. I just went on a spiel how 30 to 29. Like, that's not old. But I feel like you don't care if you're content. Like, if you feel like you're still trying to find yourself a lot of the time, I feel like that's when people get insecure. As myself, I'm still trying to find myself as well. But then, like, I feel like if you are content, you're like, yes, I'm 50, what about it? Or I look 50, what about it? Like, you know. But, I mean, I don't care that much. Because I also come to the conclusion
I don't really care necessarily that much either.
Yeah. The people I love aren't going to care. So why would I let it bother me, you know? It's like if somebody's coming to me with like, oh, you're so old, or oh, you look ancient. I'm like, I don't know who you are. Leave me alone. Like, that's probably going to be a teen. So why would I hang out with them anyway? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the whole thing against Gen Z and millennials when it's like, oh, which I think is fabricated by BuzzFeed. But when they're like, oh, millennials, y'all still wear skinny jeans? Loser. It's like, yes, of course, somebody who is, you know, has to go to first period class and still uses pencil sharpeners and stuff like that is going to think that I'm old and like whatever. I'm not trying to impress a teen with my fashion because I'm 50. Facts. But yeah, so yeah. Maybe. There we go. Yeah. I'm gonna read a couple more comments and then we're gonna get into the voting, guys. Actually, we have to get into our last thoughts and then we'll get into the voting. So Gisela says, and how Shimin looks like he's a late teen even though he's the eldest in EXO at 31. Yeah, that always will. We were talking about that yesterday, actually. That will always confuse me. Oh, okay, Barbara says younger. Andy says, it's the ageism and misogyny for me. Speak on it! Some K-pop stans are like, don't you have a job and kids to take care of? And think all of us over 21 are about to go hop into it. It's so funny, though, because I think that just, like, shows how naive you are. Like, this idea that, like, there's somebody who, like, they're, like, praying that when I'm you guys' age at 30, I won't be on this app. Twitter. They're referring to Twitter. Like, minded, like, what people are doing. I'm like... Very funny, because I feel like we all had ideas of what we would and would not be doing when we were in our 30s or like 20s or whatever, and then we actually got there and we were like, oh, it's actually no different. You don't just suddenly, you know, change into wanting to drink Soylent and watch CNN on repeat or whatever. Like, you still enjoy the stuff that you enjoy. Like, you just have the money, hopefully, to, like, you know, buy into your, like, you know, interests, and you have maybe a little more time because, you know, if you have, like, hopefully, like, you don't have, like, you have some downtime or whatever, you might be more stressed, who knows, but, like, it's like you like this idea that you all of a sudden are like tax extension, like, no, you still I still am, you know, sobbing over the ending of, like, Peach Girl, and I'm still freaking out when there's a cool fight scene in Attack on Titan. Like, I'm still lame. Hi, like. But
dang, I don't know about lame now. God dang, all
that's
right?
True. God. That's true. It's not lame.
Why you gotta be like that? Why you gotta be like that?
That's true. I need to.
I took that as a personal hit right there. Sorry, because I get hyped.
I'm sorry, that was mean. I should not use self-deprecating language. I'm still cool, but yeah, it's like, it's just like, and the thing is, I get it, because there are some people that let their obsessions kind of make their professional or adult life in shambles. Like if you're like, instead of paying your electricity bill, you're going out to buy 50 K-pop albums, or instead of eating, correct food or whatever, you're going to buy like, like you don't have your priorities straight. But anyone cannot have their priorities straight, whether you're 17 or you're 35 or whatever. Like you can
But I will say this much when it comes to priorities: if you're not paying your rent and you're buying like K-pop, like albums and stuff like that, you got to get your priorities straight though. You can't just be doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And then even not, then those albums are gonna be with you outside. You're like, do you really want to do that?
Excuse me, I'll build a house out of my albums. I'll live there. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Just kidding.
Well, excuse me.
How dare you judge my lifestyle? No, just kidding. Leanne says, I think we might have talked about this in an earlier stream, but it's so weird that adults aren't allowed to have hobbies for some reason. It's so toxic. Like, it's like, I have to do stuff outside of work too. I have to think about something else besides work. Like, yeah, it's very, very strange that hobbies are shamed.
Not the dream to just be working all day.
Exactly.
Every day.
Go home.
Your neck hurting right now. I don't even know why, but here.
Exactly.
Like, it's legitimately hurting for some reason. I have no idea why I'm hurting right now.
Because you're getting ripped tonight. Did you read the ending of Attack on Titans? No, I'm gonna stick to the anime. I think. I'm scared about like coming across spoilers, but I'm gonna stick to the anime because I just never been a manga girl.
I know of things. I'm in the anime community. It's hard to avoid because these suckers just can't help themselves. So I do know something. I don't know how true all of it is, but I'm just gonna act like I never seen it, and we're just gonna go from there.
That's the best, yeah. Is it something that you think would have ruined like the ending for you, or is it just kind of inconsequential?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Like I feel like people are over, like they're being way too hard on the ending. It's weird as heck. Like I don't know.
I'm still very worried because the fact that it just kind of came and went makes me scared. But
yeah,
I'll see it.
I know.
I'll see it. I'm willing to wait because, and I think this is also a conversation we had. I think Attack on Titan has given enough to me in terms of plot, in terms of mind-blowing fight scenes, in terms of mind-blowing twists, that even if it kind of ends on like a mid note, I will still say it's a really good show. So like I'm not freaking out too much about it.
That's what I'm saying too. Like I'm just hoping that it's not like a truly bad ending where just nothing makes sense and he doesn't like wrap things up. Because I'm pretty confident he's gonna wrap things up. You know what I mean? Like all the information we need to know, it should be towards the end, and it should all be there. So if it does at least that, the ending's not bad. Like I can take that. I don't know. My expectations are not like high to a point where I think this is like gonna end magnificently, like it's gonna be the greatest ending of all time. Because a lot of shows, just in general, it's very hard to actually make an ending like that's actually gonna be satisfying for people, because there's always gonna be two sides of it that people are not gonna enjoy it. Like it just happens because it's really difficult to try to actually close things off and actually it be just like perfect, because it's hard to really do that, honestly. So I don't know. I got to see for myself.
Shit, I feel like this is a good segue. I don't know if this is spoilers, but do you have a show that you can think of that you like when it ended you were like, wow, it was both I didn't expect this and it was a really satisfying ending? Can you think of a show like that?
Yes, actually. I actually have one already over my head. I always bring this up, and I feel like people actually should watch this show. The show's called S Cried. The show it's a good show, but the way the show ends, because of the two pretty much main characters in the show, I don't know if I want to spoil that. Actually, there's something that happens between them two at the end that we needed to see, and they delivered really, really well. I didn't see that coming. I was like, okay, okay. So yeah, it was like S Cry's ending, a great example of how you should be able to end a show. Now, granted, S Cried is not like a super complex type of series though, so that's to be expected then. But they delivered what they needed to deliver for that ending. I think there's still like a few things that could like go on that they could probably explain a few more, but I don't know. I felt satisfied with it. It's between that one and also Cowboy Bebop, because Cowboy Bebop actually ends off really well as well.
I actually don't have one, but that was really insane. Like the ones you shared. I'm gonna check out. Is it a short? Is it a short one? S cried.
It's 25 to 26 episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, I'll
So
check that one out. I always
yes,
like a
that's too long.
satisfying ending.
I
Um,
will say this because of how I know you at this point. I don't know how much you'll like the show because there's a lot of fighting in it.
ah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm changing a bit because there's some fighting that I do enjoy, like My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan. So maybe I'll like it. I'll give it a try though, because I like a satisfying ending. So, um,
yeah. It's definitely a show that I can recommend because of how it ended. Because I'm like, even with the stuff that was going on with it, wasn't even bad. Like it was a show I watched on Toonami a long time ago because it was actually on TV and
oh
everything,
wow,
and I went through the
I'm
whole
gonna
thing, and I
recommend
probably need
it.
to watch it again, honestly, because it was it's a show that no one really ever talks about. It's so weird. Like
Even though it was
no
on
one knows the
Toonami,
best cry.
you know
Yeah.
what? Okay, wait, put a pin in that because I just want to mention that Barbie mentioned that Code Geass was something with a really, really good ending. Um,
Oh, true. Yeah.
but okay, so like for the like, I don't even know for the people who grew up with Toonami, and watched it. Like I feel like because of like Toonami was definitely like a gateway for a lot of people, even if you like did watch like the Pokemon and things like that. It was definitely like when people actually started really like standing anime and getting into it, that was very helpful. Like it showed people Naruto, like Dragon Ball Z, Death Note, things like that. Like that was people's introduction. And I think it's so interesting that there's some shows that I feel like with Toonami's influence, with that like group of kids that grew up on it that are just like, goated, everyone knows them, get so much love, like Bleach and things like that. And then there's some that people are just like, who? And one of the shows that is for me is Erica 7 because it also aired in that block back
Yeah.
when they were airing
Yeah.
Blood Plus, Toonami, but ain't nobody talk about it. And this S Cried show, same thing because I know that name sounded familiar, but I definitely did not watch that on Toonami. So I think that's quite interesting that there's some that are just like everyone's like that's the goat, like this is goated, blah blah. I feel like Blood Plus also doesn't get that much like I don't know, I don't see that much love for it, and it also aired in that block.
It's kind of unfortunate though, because Blood Plus like show the movie's good. The show is
You didn't like the show? I didn't
you
even know there
know
was a movie to be
it's
fair.
like it's like hit or miss. It's the show's long. It's like 52 episodes. I think that's the first problem right there.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm
hit or
sorry for
miss
this
because
stuff.
there are consistencies with the show, inconsistencies with it that I've seen, and I went back on it and hearing the dub too. There's some there's some interesting choice lines that they be throwing in there. It's interesting enough. That's why I'm like I liked it though, but maybe because my anime like
Tastes are different.
maybe my taste was just yeah it was different. Maybe it was more
That's
trash than or
fair.
something. I don't know. It's something I definitely need to check again just to see what's going on because I like Blood Sea for instance,
Mm-hmm.
but Blood Sea is one of those like slow burner shows that took forever to actually get interesting. But yeah, I mean the show was popular enough to get another like show. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm-hmm.
show, there's something with it. It's interesting because you do have a point because like that's not one of those shows that everybody just talks about. Like it's not in the zone of anything, especially Record 7. Like I don't, it's crazy. Like no one talks about Record 7. Even
Yeah,
that show got another season actually, like a whole nother thing. Which I don't know if you watched that or not,
I
but
didn't. And apparently all the stands are like, don't even bother, girl. That didn't exist. I think it's Erica Ao or something. They're like, and I'm like, really?
yeah.
Okay, because they said so. Well, I'm gonna check it out because I think it's actually in Funimation, but I never got a chance to.
Oh,
Because every time I watch it, I'm like, let me just watch, or I try to watch. I'm like, let me just watch the original again. But yeah,
wait, did they dub it?
yeah, I think so. It's on Funimation, so I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wait, is Renton in that one? Because I don't know.
So it's about Erica and his child, and I do believe they come in later in the show, but it's like supposed to kind of be a different, like,
So I get to hear Johnny and
character.
Boss, what you're telling me then.
What? I think you do. I don't know. I don't know if like how much they are actually in it, but I would assume because they would be foolish not to have him reply. Honestly, let me real quick speak on my boy Johnny and Bosch. The fact that this grown ass man was able to pull off a believable 14-year-old in his grown ass man likeness. Greg Ayers, no, just kidding. But yeah, I feel like
Goodness, leave this man alone. He has a boy voice the entire time. He can't help himself. Right? Look.
I'm just kidding. Greg Ayers Hive, don't
I'm
come for
telling
me.
on you.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
go.
no,
I'm going to Great Eric's freaking Twitter right
no,
now.
no, no, no,
Right?
no, no,
I'm
no.
going to it.
Oh my
You're gonna have to
God.
know.
You know, it never really occurred to me that he might, not that he might see this. He obviously doesn't care about me, but like that, like somebody might
You
be like,
never know. You never know. I'll tell you this right now. I have a story because I be doing like I did like dub thoughts on my channel a few times. I actually had like I think it was Tuna Bio actually. Yeah, the voice actor for the main character, the girl.
mm-hmm.
What's her name? 'Cause I follow her on Twitter now. I can't remember her goddamn name. She left a comment. She watched my video. The voice actor. Yes.
Oh my God.
I actually talked to her a little bit. Like they look around. They do look. So yeah.
This is my formal apology to Mr. Greg Ayers. I'm just playing, you know, I'd be silly on this show. You're very talented, and obviously you know that because you've voiced a multitude of characters throughout the years. If you would like to come on, let me know. I would love to talk to you about your voice acting. Sorry for existing. Thank you. He's like trash report. He reports me to glitch. Oh, hey, Star, welcome to the stream. Oh my God, he literally just came just in time because we were about to get to voting for the next anime. But I want to go back and read some of the comments.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Erica Seven Love, yes. Andre says, I always find it funny that for certain anime like Bebop and even Gundam Wing got lukewarm responses in Japan, but once Toonami started airing them, they like blew up. I didn't know that actually. I thought Gundam was huge in Japan. And
Yeah. Wait, really?
Bebop, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, it's funny because I know like the K-pop world, knowing how certain like K-pop groups are received in Korea is like a big thing. Because you know if they aren't received well, they'll probably disband. But I don't really keep my pulse as much, or I've only really started recently to really like have like a interest or like hear what's popular in Japan, as opposed to like just looking at and for things I like or whatever. But I
I
didn't.
don't know. Like the Gundam thing kind of throws me off because like that can't be true. Given that they made like what 18 different series for the show, like there's no way that the show wasn't popping off back then.
Well, I guess Andre's saying that it didn't started airing, they blew up. It was like it just happened to coincide, like them blowing up and like people it airing on Toonami, like it was like after the fact. Because I don't know, I wouldn't know. But thank you for the resub, C Star. But yeah, Greg Ayers, I'm sorry. But yeah, you know, Greg Ayers aside, I would very much like to praise Johnny and Bosch. I was definitely a little fangirl when I was in middle school. And I'm still a big fangirl now that I'm not in middle school anymore. Who are your favorite voice actors? Seiyus or otherwise?
Johnny on Boss was like not my number one. And yes, I was a fanboy of Johnny on Boss. I'll keep it real because like I not only followed his whole entire career because I know how he started voice acting. I learned all the stuff about him. I know about his band, freaking iShine. I be listening to all of those songs too. I was all in. Like I followed him on MySpace. MySpace when it was a thing. Yes, I actually got him to be friends at one point on there. I was like, bro. So it was like I said, I mess with him.
Yes, you better stand. I feel like he's like literally. There's no one who dislikes him. Like he is literally like one of the like anime English voice acting goats. Like he just I've never heard a complaint when he's got cast as something. Like I've never in like my years ever heard anyone complain because he was on the lineup for a cast. But yeah, his voice is so good and he's really, really talented. Like I think like I was saying with Renton, like I could tell it was him, but just the way that he was able to pitch his voice up to be such a believable young boy as a grown man, I feel like that's very, very rare. They often get like women to play younger guys. So the fact that he was able to play it and so convincingly was just like bone apple teeth. Like he's
and to top that off too is the fact that his voice is so distinct in the first place that you know who it is. You still weren't bothered by the fact that he did try to pitch his voice up to sound as young as he did, which worked. It worked though. And that's not, again, when you have a voice like that that's very distinct, it's really difficult to try to like play a different like character. You know what I mean? You can't. You start becoming more typecast that way.
Yes.
Like going back to Greg Ayers, for instance. Greg Ayers has a very, very distinct voice, and it's very difficult for him to actually like play like a more serious character, for instance, right? Like a more stoic. Like imagine him playing Maury or something, like stuff like that. You couldn't see it. You just couldn't see that. Where Johnny, he has surprising range, even though his voice is the way it is. It's impressive.
Yeah, I think
and his
that's
acting's
it.
really good. His acting's really good. That's the thing. I think that's what it also sells. His acting's so good, and it helps the fact that he was a the Black Power Ranger, and he does still do acting here and there because he has done some movies and stuff too. So.
Wow, I love my king. Honestly, it like I don't really see him. Maybe it's because I don't be keeping my ears to these English dub streets, but I don't really see him in things that often these days. But I feel like anytime like he pops up, I'm like, oh, thank you for casting him.
One of the things he did, I mean, it's kind of funny, but after the whole Vic thing.
Oh yeah, he replaced him as Broly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's that.
We getting work anyway. Well,
and what's even crazier than that? No one was really upset by the fact that Johnny.
I was gonna say they were like, well, if it's Johnny, fine. Like even his stance were like, it's Johnny and Bosch, so
like,
we're fine.
Oh, I just remembered something because you were talking about like my favorite voice actors. I didn't even know about this, but I'm watching Promised Neverland. Crispin Freeman's in there. I was freaking out because I was like, bro, what?
Wait, who does he play?
Yeah,
First season or second season?
Second season.
Who does
he's
he play?
He's that head person for that facility. What's that guy's name? The guy with the long hair. Minerva? No, not Minerva. What's his name?
Rattery? Peter Rattery?
Yeah, Rattery. Yeah. He's that guy.
Oh my god!
Fits perfectly. His acting is so freaking good in that for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it's like the line delivery was just smacking on that. Like I don't know. He's just so good.
Honestly,
I was blown away. Like I sit there sometimes. I be judging the voice acting, right? So I be sitting there and I'll be like, dang, okay, that's okay. But like every line he hit, I was like, that's perfect. Like dang, that was perfect. Like I was feeling everything he was saying. I was like, all right. I mean, maybe I'm a fanboy. I don't know.
But I was good.
It was crazy stuff.
Yeah, because we had to just, I don't know if it was on screen, but me and Brick had been talking about how like Crispin Freeman is literally like god tier voice actor, but we don't really be hearing him in anime like very often recently as of late. So that's really cool. Too bad that season 2 was something else, but
I know.
I might watch
it. But you know what? That made it better.
That was always
instead of 3 stars, it's 5 stars now.
Just from his voice acting performance. Yeah. So I think one of my favorite I think that's part of the reason why I like the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya so much, because literally I was eating good. You had Johnny Bosch as Koizumi. You had Crispin Freeman as Kyon, which like I feel like I wouldn't even like Kyon that much.
Wait. The dub had these suckers together?
Yes, we were eating good in 2007, or whenever that's 2009. Oh yeah, it really had like everyone.
I never watched the show. Bro, I gotta watch this now.
It's really, his performance is so good as Kyon. Oh my god, I love it. I only watched the dub. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's really good. But yeah, I love him. I love the girl who plays Honey Senpai, Lucy Christian, I think. She's also one of my favorite female voice actors. Her voice tends to be very distinct as well. She kills like the Valley Girl type characters. I feel like she's played like at least like 2 gal characters, like a stereotypical like gal type like schoolgirl thing. But her voice is just so like, it's so energetic, it's so fun. I think she did a really good job with Honey Senpai. He sounded so cute. And she's just always been one of my favorite voices as well. But yeah, other than that,
if I have to choose like a female voice actor because I haven't chosen one yet, I'm gonna choose Laura Bailey because she's the GOAT to me.
Queen.
Like I really enjoy her freaking voice.
Yeah, I love her. She's so she's so talented. Honestly, I like her as well, and I have to give it to Christina V too. I think because I saw her grow into like the super mega star she's now. I feel like there's like
I've seen her whole career.
She made it out the hood
too, and I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yes, that.
I'm like, she actually made it out here. All right, queen. Yeah. So.
And it's so crazy too because she pretty much won this Axe Idol thing, and that's what put her on the map basically. That's like, wow.
Do they still do AX Idol?
No, they don't.
Damn.
They stopped at like 2011, 2012, somewhere around there.
Dang, that was such like a like cornerstone of like the con scene slash like indie voice acting idol, like amateur voice acting idol scene. Like I remember like seeing like how like on like voice acting forums when that was about to like pop off, so many people are like, are you going, are you gonna like audition? Like it was such a big and especially for the because they had a voice acting one, but then they also had like a singing one too, so that was also a big deal for people who like to do like
Oh,
fan
I
dubs
didn't know
and
about
things.
that one.
Yeah, oh, I was really big on that. Like I was never I don't think I was I never thought I was like actually gonna audition, but just seeing like trying to find videos of like the competition and things like that, that was huge like in like the fan dubbing song and like song dubbing like community. Like that was always a big deal. But yeah, I feel like that was such a cornerstone of like classic old
Yeah.
dubbing scene.
Why
But
don't they need to bring that back?
they truly do.
They need to bring that
Probably
back.
because like I don't know, because I know like it was like a good way to discover new like talent or whatever, but now like that the internet is so accessible, maybe they're just like, well, there's like 100 people on Twitter sending me their demos every single day, so we don't really need a competition anymore.
But for the people that really want it though, they'll show up. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
That's true.
It's in California. If you really about this, you will take your time to fly out there to do it because you have to live in California anyways, right? For this type of stuff, because a lot of the work is over there anyways. So if you really serious about it, boom, like I don't know. I feel like it's worthwhile to do because not only Christina V got into it, but there's like a few others like that are my friends that I knew that actually kind of got into it too. So because of that whole thing, so it's just like I don't know. I wish I was able to get in there, go over there because I was heavy in voice acting back in the day.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But yeah, that's just that sucks because I feel like also I constantly like I follow some of the people who are like, on the cusp, like, have the demos or trying to get into dubs. And they always talk about how it's really, really hard to break in because it's kind of like they have their people that they've been using for years, and then maybe every like couple years is a couple like a new crop of people who kind of are able to get roles and break in and things like that. And so it's very, very hard to get your foot in the door because there's already like, not only fan favorites, but people who just have been in the industry. And I think it's interesting because unlike on-screen acting, where like you age out of certain roles. So it's like maybe when you were young, newer on the scene, you would always get like the young, the hot guy or like the main like teen guy or whatever. But like there's going to be a point in time where you're going to be too old to play those roles, so you have to age out to like older roles. But in voice acting, like we just talked about, Johnny on Bosch, probably like 30 plus, was playing like a 14-year-old. So there's no like, people can pretty much,
I don't
sans
know if he was that
puberty.
old.
He was like 30 something, I would think. If he was like a teen in the 90s.
He was still pretty young. He was still well.
Oh, well, I think
Yeah, but he was
30
pretty young in that too, actually.
He was probably in his late 20s now that I think about it. Because if he was a teen, no, he was in his 20s in Power Rangers, right? And that was in the 90s.
I think.
Oh, so he probably, yeah, sometimes I forget. Eureka 7 is kind of like old.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You still living in the record 7 days.
Yeah, me too. Living in middle school days.
Whoa.
So if you say,
Whoa.
oh my God, let me not. I'm feeling too much. But yeah, so I feel like since you don't age out in the way that you would in on-screen acting, it's easier for you like to kind of maintain your status and like keep on getting roles and things like that once you prove yourself to be both like reliable and good at your job. So for the new people trying to break in, sometimes it can be a bit tough. So like something like AX where it's specifically for amateurs to get like some attention, I feel like that could be really useful.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it's still necessary and needed because I don't know, it just sucks that Funimation will use like the same 5 voice actors for everything. So
that's true. I think they're getting a bit better. Like the dude who plays Hawks,
yeah,
he seems to be blowing up, man. They recently made a Kuroko no Basket dub, and he plays Taiga, the guy with the red hair. I forget what his name is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh. But it was like, yeah, he seems
like, for real, I didn't really care about that dub that much because it kind of wasn't that good. But I'm gonna leave that alone.
I enjoyed it because I was just like, oh, a nice way to revisit the show that I used to love, but in a kind of new way. But the dub was pretty recent, right? Because it only recently got on Netflix, which confused me because that show is kind of old. So why are they dubbing it
No,
now?
they dubbed it a while ago, but Netflix, it's kind of late to the party with some stuff.
Really? Wow, that's very late because they
Yeah.
only like recently put it up like this year, I'm pretty sure. That's
Oh
weird.
yeah, they done that with a few other shows that have already been dubbed before. They maybe just got the license to do it now. I don't know.
Uh,
It's weird.
that's weird. I think right now would be a great time to wrap up. Death Parade is our next show. So we'll be doing episodes 1, 2, 3. And so that's what we'll be discussing next week. But before we wrap up here, Break, did you have any last words?
Oh no, not really. I'm just happy to be here like usual and everything. It's always good. I fixed some stuff with my stream, so it's working a little bit better now. So there's that.
Ooh.
I give myself 2 thumbs up. I've been working on that crap. But yeah, and World's End Club. God dang it! Like I don't recommend games usually, but this game is bootleg as heck, but it's fun. I mean, I'm not done with it yet, but y'all, I don't know. You guys need to see this. You guys need to see it. I want more people to see this game because this game it's ridiculous.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Bye.